Mites and beetles, mites and beetles, mites and beetles. My mentor always told me it was super important to take care of the mites and beetles. It's August and we got to get on this. I've been working on it for a while here, but now it's critical. I want to show you my strategy this year. Maybe I'm getting some things figured out. I think we got 14 or 15 colonies out here, so it'll be a perfect spot for me to explain what my strategy is for this year. You also see it's kind of a mess. We got some boxes turned up on end here. These are from some dead outs or some excess equipment we didn't need. We'll try and get that cleaned up as well today. First of all, today we're going to check a few hives using the Easy Check system with the dishwashing detergent in the water here. You mix 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of ideally Dawn Ultra dishwashing detergent, and I use that for your checks. You can also use an alcohol wash. I've been hitting them some with this instant vape from varroa. Man, this is a powerful machine. I love it. It has totally changed my life when it comes to treating with oxalic acid vapor. It's so efficient and easy to use, and I'll put a link to those in the description below if you're interested in finding out more about it and maybe ordering one. My main strategy today, though, is going to be to utilize these apivar strips in these colonies. I've had good results with this. I like it because it's easy. You put it in the hive, you leave them alone for about 6 to 8 weeks, you come back, you take them out, and you're done. I've been using this to kind of knock them back a little bit, hopefully, but this is going to be my long-term kill, hopefully, for these mites. It's critical in August that you do this, that you get the mites under control so the winter bees can develop and hopefully decrease the virus load, making the bees stronger going into winter. Beetle control, I've never used Grub-X before. I'm going to spread this around the colonies. Commercial guy here in Alabama says it really helped last year. He used it, so I'm going to try it out. Never done it before. I think the principle is if there are any hive beetle issues, the larvae come out, they fall in the soil, and it kills them dead. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm going to try it out. If I have an infestation, I'll use these towels right here and maybe even some beetle blasters. You could tell on these hives I've already used the towels. I did that in a previous video, showed you how I do that. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is spread some Grub-X. I'm going to go about a few feet out from each of the colonies. I think the most important thing is that Grub-X is right around the colonies, especially wherever those grubs, the little larvae can come in and out. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got the Grub-X in my little spreader here. We're going to just go ahead and spread it. So it's right here. I plan to let these colonies overwinter in a deep and a medium. It's going to leave them alone configuration-wise. Let's see how this thing looks. This is one of the strips I put in here. See the beetles on there? Got a few beetles that caught. Seeing some beetles in here for sure. Hopefully the Grub-X will help, plus my utilization of the towels, but they're putting some kind of nectar in here. They're putting something in, which will be good winter stores for them. Let's go down into the brood box here and see what we got. This towel right here. It's got a few beetles caught up around here. My primary goal in going to these colonies, I got to work kind of fast, is to test for mites. I'm going to test this one for mites. Look at that beautiful brood pattern though, man. Bees are doing so good. This has been such a fun experiment this year with this split I made. It worked out so well. Doesn't always work out that well. I want to find a nice frame of brood here. Wow, look at that. I'm going to look real closely for the queen right here and see if I see her. This would probably be a pretty good frame to take for my sample. Man, there are all kinds of eggs in there. This colony is doing so good. This one was actually, I think, a little bit slow to get going. This is one of the weaker splits, but man, they've gone ahead and decided to rock and roll and doing good. So we'll look really closely for the queen. Got plenty of bees on here for a sample. Just going to do it all right here so you can see what I'm doing. Look real closely for the queen one more time. I don't see her. I've got my Easy Check little container here with the solution in it, the dishwashing detergent. Set it off to the side. Look for the queen, don't see her. Gonna shake. The bees in there. It's okay, a lot of them will fly away and that's fine. Those are the foragers, the ones you don't actually want. They're real easy to set this here. I don't want that to spill on them, just for the video purposes. Make sure I don't see the queen in there. Shake all the bees down. We want a half a cup. Each of these is a quarter cup. So half a cup of bees equals approximately 300 bees. Okay. So I got the bees in there. I'll put the lid on. trap them. Shake the rest of these bees down. We'll go ahead and put, man, there are eggs like in every single cell. So this colony right here is actually kind of exploding right now. It's kind of cool. Put this colony back together. Ooh, that smoke. Do have some beetles in here, but with a strong colony like this, they usually keep them in pretty good check. We got eggs like in every cell right here though, so that's pretty cool. Wall to wall, eggs, bees, everything. Healthy bees. I've got my mite check here. I'm gonna shake it. I'm gonna shake it for about a minute. And we'll come back and see what the results are. I found that if you swirl it, it works pretty well. We'll go at least about a minute here. Got one mite right there in the middle of the screen. Not bad. So I'm really excited about the results of that mite check. I am gonna go ahead and treat though. If we got one, we'll just go ahead and try and knock it on back. That means there's some more in here, but it's definitely not an infestation. So these Apivar strips come, I got the big pack, a pack of 60, and you gotta use them as soon as you open them up. You gotta get them used. You can't just let them sit around for several days or weeks, or I think they lose their effectiveness. You wanna put, they say one strip for every frame, 5 frames of bees, so I'm gonna put a strip about right here, like that. You do have a little hole right here. You can use a toothpick or a small nail and hang it. That actually works a little better. I don't have that right now, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Slide them down in there. And since I saw some beetles, I'm gonna go ahead and put another, about a third of a towel here. These are the Dixie H700 towels. You can get them on Amazon or wherever. I'm gonna smoke the bees down. I do not plan to harvest this honey, so it's okay to put this on here. This is gonna be their food stores for the winter. You don't wanna utilize Apivar strips with honey on here. So I'm pretty encouraged by the mite count. Maybe the oxalic acid vapor treatments I hit them with helped knock the mites back some. But I think this Apivar will go ahead hopefully and take care of any other problem that we may have. I do see a little brood up here in this top box, but I think that's okay. They're starting to actually put a little nectar in here for maybe a little fall flow starting to kick in, I don't know. See, we definitely have some beetles. See them running around here on the lid. So these towels hopefully will help take care of the beetles. Trying to avoid smashing any bees, but I like to go ahead and kill them if I can with my hive tool. Just try to do the best I can and let the towels and the other treatments do their job. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some random checks on some of these. If I find a test that has a significant amount, I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I'm sure there are some out here, I'm almost positive there are some that have a significant number of mites that are above threshold. And so I feel like I just need to go ahead and treat them, knock the mites down, help these bees going into winter to be strong and hopefully virus free. Man, these bees are looking good. Wow. Looking for the queen. Don't see her. Larvae, eggs. Great frame for nurse bees, so let's test this one. No queen. Look at all those beetles. Okay, looks like we're counting 3 in this sample. Okay, with a sample of 3, that's 1%. You figure 1 mite per 100 bees. The sample, they say, is around 300 bees. Go ahead and treat. That is within threshold if your threshold is like 2% or 3%, but I just want these bees to be totally clean. This colony was right next to the one we did first over here, and it had a very similar situation. Looks like there's brood we've got plenty of brood, man, they're doing great. So I'm really excited about how these bees are looking in these first 2 colonies. You know, these queens are really, it took them a little while to get going, but they really kind of hit their stride, and man, exciting stuff about how that split actually worked out. Let me move this one over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or so. and 2 of those were from the previous wash. So this has a mite wash of, let's just say 12, which is definitely above threshold. So I've already put the strips in the bottom box, and this has a little brood in the top. I'm going to put a strip up here too. And these bees just don't seem to be quite as healthy looking. Maybe it's because of that mite load, but we're going to take care of it hopefully with these apple strips. All right, so there's the one in the top box, and we got 2 in the bottom box. Look how effective that towel was in catching beetles previously. See, there's some caught in it right now that just haven't died yet. There's a few bees, but very few. But a ton of beetles. Look at all those dead beetles. Crazy. Well, these bees are now all treated for mites and beetles. I'm really excited about that. Overall, the bees look great. My worst mite wash was 12 mites, but I went ahead and just treated them all. And we had a couple things I did here, a couple manipulations. We did take a 10 frame hive right here that was weak and put it in that little nuke. And then I also shook most of the bees out of this hive right here. It was a drone layer. They weren't gonna make it, and so hopefully those bees will find a new home. I just set the box right there, the second box on that colony. Hopefully those bees will help it get cleaned out. It's a good, strong colony. Let me show you how effective these towels are for killing beetles. Look at these things, all these dead beetles. Isn't that amazing? It's a real effective treatment. It's worked for me for the last few years, and I highly recommend it. It's these Dixie H700 disposable towels. You can just get them online. There's 150 of them in a box. If you tear each one into 3 strips, that treats a lot of beehives. It's well worth the money in my opinion. Even if you save 1 colony, it'll more than pay for your box of towels. Man, how fun is this? August, I've got this bee yard ready to go. Won't even be getting in them probably until 6 to 8 weeks when I pull those apple strips out, unless I just see a major issue walking through. There's still a few boxes sitting out here vertical for the bees to clean up a little bit from the manipulations I had to do today. But other than that, I'm just gonna let it roll here. I may bring a little food out to them, but I think they're pretty much set and ready for winter. This is 15. I still got about 100 plus still to do. I'm gonna put a link for the splits I made back on February on this pallet right here, where I turned this hive right here into those 4. And as you can see, it worked out well. It's been a fun year watching that thing develop, but that video is the most watched video I had this year. And so I'd encourage you to go look at it. I'll put the link right here. That's it for now. Y'all take care. See you next time.